Yo, what is up, and welcome to, I think, the first ever Saturday edition of the Avenger League weekly preview. I don't think I've ever recorded on a Saturday. Usually, if I just miss Thursday, we just miss it that week. But here we are. Happy Saturday. It is currently the fourth quarter of the Tennessee-Ohio State game, which is 35-10. Just an ass kicking. I was gonna wait till after the game to record. Ohio State just fumbled. Look at that. Oh my god. It was an insane play. I'm glad I pulled that up. Anyway, this is an ass kicking, so I didn't wait. Last week we only had two games. Obviously the quarterfinals for the regular playoffs. The entire consolation losers bracket was on a bye, awaiting some results there. In the first of those games, we had Raleigh just barely edging out Charlie. Kind of went understated because Brock Bowers got the reception so early in that game to take the lead that it kind of wasn't as big of a deal when he just went the entire game without catching another ball. Ends up pulling it out by 1.9, 110.9 to 109.06. And on the other side, ended up being a little bit closer than maybe we expected by Monday night. But Andrew comfortably 140 to 24, or sorry, 140 to 131. And so he will move on to take on Tim in the semifinals, and Raleigh is now taking on Ashley in the semifinals. And then in our consolation bracket, which are the games that I'll start with because we end with the good stuff. We have the 4 seed me against the 1 seed John, and then the 2 and 3 matchup is Cameron versus Trevor. Obviously, with it being Saturday, we've now had 3 games happen, so there are some scores and some things that are already on the board. Including apparently John picked up Pat Fryermuth, which I was not aware of until I pulled up the website to do this video. So that was a fun surprise. He got 3.1 points, 16 reception, so I guess 3 receptions, 16 yards. Nico Collins was also held in check, only 60 yards, 9.5 points. And the only player that I've had go is the Broncos defense, who put up a whopping 3 points. Even with the dud performances from those two out of John, he's still projected to win 101.7 to 101.4. However, that projection was 111 to 101 at the beginning of the day, so positive movement for me. Now, I think the match, the game of the week for us is obviously going to be the Bills versus the Patriots. Josh Allen has been on a historic tear. 40 points in each of the last game, 52 games ago. Now, I do think there's some hatred for the Patriots built into Josh, and built just from the city of Buffalo. But we've seen Josh kind of take over this Superman role the last couple of games that he just quite frankly won't need to do against the Patriots. So I hope the silver lining I'm looking at here is they take a step back. They let the run game get going a little bit with and even if it's not James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, they kind of get them involved in the game. Hopefully it's all James Cook, who also had 2 touchdowns last week. But the biggest thing for me there is just taking the ball out of Josh's hands. We know what he can do with it, but like I said, I just don't think he needs to do it. Joe Burrow against Cleveland, last time they played, it was held to 181 yards and 2 touchdowns, so not exactly encouraging there. That was kind of before he went on this current tear that he's been on of 200 plus and multi-touchdown games. So kind of hoping that him being in the form that he's in now takes that over. Breece Hall, Devon Achane. Now the only thing here, playing San Francisco, not the best run defense in the world. I think a lot of that comes from that Bills game where they just got ran all over in the snow. But I also wonder if Mike McDaniels just looks to cook up some fuck shit against his old team. That could be that could spell trouble. And obviously Achane would probably getting the ball a lot there. Now AJ Brown doesn't have a injury designation, which is nice. Justin Jefferson is getting Seattle, which is nice for John. That terrifies me. He is going with Jaden Reed again, going for the matchup against the Saints over, say, Darnell Mooney against the Giants, which there is the unknown of Michael Penix there. you know, I probably look at him to kind of maybe look that over. But I think Jaden Reed is probably the call you have to go with, just with the unknown that is the Atlanta offense right now. Now, from as far as me, I'm struggling a little bit between Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen in my wide receiver 2 slot. Obviously, we lost Isaac Rendo this week. I was able to snatch up Jerome Ford. Haven't quite dialed in for that being my final lineup yet, but it probably will be. And then the matchup against Cincinnati, he's going to take over the backfield there. So yeah, I think I like my odds this week better than I do next week. If we're talking just avoiding a duck, it's obviously the tougher opponent. John, and a person who barely missed the playoffs and was kind of the hottest team in our league at one point. But I also like my just kind of matchups this week. So if I'm going to avoid a second duck, it's got to be this week, I feel. And hopefully I do it. I do hate that I have to put John down in doing so, but somebody's got to lose. And I would rather it not be me. So the other losers bracket game, we have Cameron versus Trevor. Trevor had Isaiah Pacheco held to 3 yards. Didn't see that. I didn't get to watch a lot of the games today. I was at work. But yeah, they both had dud running back performances, so kind of evens out there. 4.2 from Najee for on Cameron's side, and then the 3 points from Pacheco. Now he did get 10 from Cameron Dicker on Thursday night, so that helps a little bit. But yeah, those dud running back scores hurt. Currently projected 95.7 to 96.3. Close projections in these games. Brock Purdy against Miami. I do expect the 49ers to run the ball down Miami's throat. Miami's number 2 against opposing quarterbacks in fantasy, and I think they're like number 28 against running backs. So, and a team built like the 49ers. I don't love Brock Purdy this week. CJ Stroud already played. So we'll see if we get a change at quarterback in there. And on the other side, Jalen Hurts against Washington. It's a matchup that I like. I mean, Jalen Hurts is such a safe quarterback. He can go off for 28, 29 like he's done a couple times, and he's probably going to get a rushing touchdown at minimum. There's really just nothing else to say about him. DeAndre Swift, against Detroit is very tough. When they played on Thanksgiving, he had 8.4 points. I mean, the key to beating Detroit is you got to throw the ball. So, maybe he'll get some check down, some work in the passing game. But I just don't love that matchup. And Chuba has been a monster. Going up against Arizona, who defense has been improving this year, but they can be run on, especially this late in the year. And I think Jonathan Brooks is back out, so it's Chuba Hubbard's just full backfield again. He only had to rush the ball 10 times last week with Brooks in, and now that he's out, he's probably back up to his I don't know why 20 to 25, what he's probably averaging. Now I talked about the Detroit Chicago game. Actually, just all of Trevor's players from that game. DJ Moore, I do like this week. Like I said, to beat the Lions, you got to throw the ball. It's going with their number 1 target. Whether you think Caleb can figure it out or not, DJ Moore has been pretty safe the last couple weeks, and when they played on Thanksgiving, 97 yards and a touchdown. And of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's just so many weapons in Detroit, it's hard to predict which one's going to go off in any given week. He had 30 points last week, touchdown, 193 yards against the Bills in that crazy shootout game, but failed to go over 10 points the week before that. Put up 33 against Jacksonville. Now, I kind of look at this as more like what the 49ers are going to do, where Chicago's got a decent secondary and just can't stop the run, and the Lions have a dominant rushing attack. So I think that spells bad news for Amon-Ra. Not because he couldn't go off on the Bears, just I think game script's going to take it out of his hands a little bit. Cooper Kupp and Drake London both have great matchups against the New York teams, 2 bad secondaries. Drake London, you kind of go back to wondering what's going on with Michael Penix. Is he going to be the answer? We don't know. George Kittle has been one of the most consistent tight ends in fantasy. Damn, blowing my phone up. I also saw a stat, Jacoby Myers on the flex. Um, Jacoby Myers is the only person, only receiver, or only, I guess, player in the NFL with over 100 targets and no drops. I scrolled past that on Reddit, so don't fact check that. All these defenses too. Bills, New England, Seahawks. Seahawks against the Vikings is tough. So as far as predicting, I gotta go Trevor as a winner. I think. The wide receivers scare me, but sorry, the wide receivers I think is gonna do it for me. DeAndre Swift and Chuba Hubbard kind of have going that head to head. I lean towards Cameron. I think Brock Purdy has a dud day. But once again, Drake London, we just don't know. And Jacoby Myers, you're counting on. Desmond Ridder, I guess, is still starting. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough there. I think Trevor takes the victory and sends Cameron to the last place match. Now, the matches that matter. The semifinals. So Ashley has only had the Chargers defense go. They only put up 2 points, 2 sacks, give up 27 points. However, there was also a couple of duds on the other side, with Joe Mixon being held to 7.6 points and Kaimi Fairbairn being held to 6 points with a missed field goal. Now, the craziest thing here is Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Jalen McMillan. Is the matchup wonderful? Yes. I didn't realize that was Sunday Night Football too. Gross, dude. Gross. Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about this shit anymore, dude. What the fuck? Malik Neighbors against the... Oh my god. Why are you in the sim... Jamar Chase is terrifying against Cleveland. Josh Jacobs, the matchup against the Saints. A team I put on quit watch a while back, and they kind of came back around. And I think I'm close. Alvin Kamara's out. You're going Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener. I think Spencer Rattler was named the starter. Just not great vibes in New Orleans right now. Sam Darnold gets Seattle. Aaron Jones gets Seattle. That's a matchup that really scares me. You know, if I'm on the other side of it. And then Jonnu Smith being the just the league winner that is tight end. Now Jonathan Taylor's interesting. Obviously under a lot of fire last week for dropping the touchdown. And in a mode that, you know, I don't know what kind of points Ashley put up last week, but I sure saw a lot of people getting fucked on Reddit from that play specifically, losing by 6 points when you dropped a touchdown and fumbled out of the back of the end zone. Brutal. So, we'll see kind of how he responds to that. Normally, I would say I would look for him to have a pretty big bounce back week. But, I mean, Tennessee's defense isn't the worst thing in the world. It's a divisional game, so we'll see. But I do kind of wonder if he's going to have like this a little bit of a repentance moment. So, God, dude, this... Why is Bucks Cowboys Sunday Night Football, and why do we now all have to watch it because you wanted to start 3 Buccaneers? Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at this lineup, you have to go Ashley, and there's just no way around it. I'm gonna pick Ashley to win, go to the championship. This is one of those stupid fucking lineups that you would just look up and it would have 140 points for some reason because the Bucks put up 35 points. But I hate it. I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Jones. And Josh Jacobs. I don't even think I mentioned him. Khalil Shakir is the weak point here in hell. Did I actually missed a little roster spot. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't realize Xavier Worthy put up 17. I guess he just scored a touchdown. All right, now the last game, the other semifinal matchup. Tim out to a commanding lead. Lamar Jackson put up 20 points, three passing touchdowns. Did throw a pretty bad pick. Chris Boswell hung 7, which is disappointing in terms of what he's been doing, but it's fine for a kicker. Jane Daniels gets a Philly defense who has kind of been on fire recently. Number 4 against opposing quarterbacks. I don't love this matchup for him. Obviously, the rushing floor is there. It's nice and safe. But I still, that's a matchup that would scare me. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to put up 150 points. Lone backfield playing against Chicago. He's probably gonna get 30 carries, maybe 15 targets, probably 340 yards, 6 touchdowns. Fantasy records incoming for Jahmyr Gibbs. Now a man who can match it on the other side, Saquon Barkley against the Commanders. Once again, divisional matchup. I think they try to. I think they run the score up, and I think Washington, their defensive numbers have been solid. That's kind of like, welcome to the big leagues. Now Bucky Irving against Dallas. I know we were talking about earlier who would you start when you're kind of looking at this, Bucky versus Kendre Miller, with Alvin Kamara out. Once again, Bucky playing the Bucks in prime time, or playing the Cowboys in prime time. Good call, Bucky Irving all day. Now Chase Brown against Cleveland. Now the last time they played, obviously Zach Moss was still in the. I think he was still in the lineup. He was a factor. Only 44 yards and 1 reception. Chase Brown white? Is that a white guy? There's no way. He's Canadian. Let's see. And why is it so hard to find out what ethnicity somebody is? Taryn and Rachel. Rachel spelled weird. Can we look up Chase Brown parents? Was a figure skater? Oh wait, here we go. Okay, his mom's white. Oh, that's black. Okay. Yeah, mixed guy. All right. Anyway, last time he played the Browns stuff. Anyway, it was bad, but he wasn't the lone back. So I fully lost my own train of thought. Tyreek Hill's got a questionable tag, but he has all year, and it hasn't really mattered. He's been the same. He's been doing the same shit. Against San Francisco, number 4 against opposing wide receivers. I didn't realize they were clamping people down like that. That's crazy. Oh, we got Jerry Jeudy in the lineup with DTR playing over T Higgins and Jalen. Well, Jalen Waddle's not playing, but interesting. So we'll see. Maybe we look at a pivot to Jawan Jennings in the wide receiver 2 slot. Maybe Kendre Miller shows up in the flex. Maybe you just roll with it. Maybe you just say fuck it. DTR is the answer, and Jerry Jeudy's gonna continue to be Jerry Jeudy. Terry McLaurin got the Eagles, tough matchup. Rico Dowdle's got the Buccaneers, not a tough matchup. But I mean, Rico Dowdle's, obviously CeeDee Lamb is there, but you gotta trust Cooper Rush to get him the ball. And then Mark Andrews did score a touchdown today. Had a stack a moment that was gone because Tim wanted to start Sam Laporta, even though every single play call that the Lions will have all day will be going to Jahmyr Gibbs. And the website has this projected 114 to 114. Jahmyr Gibbs scares the shit out of me. I would hate to be staring him down on the other side. I like the rest of the matchups. Maybe I would probably take CD over Tyreek. I would definitely take CD over Tyreek. I just know maybe about it. But the rest of them, I would probably give the edge to Tim. Is it going to be enough to overcome the 70 points that Jahmyr Gibbs put up? Is going to be the real question. I will go with Tim winning this one, eking it out, surviving the Jahmyr Gibbs apocalypse. And really, it's going to be on Saquon Barkley to do that. Anyway, welcome to one of the shorter previews, just because there's only 4 games. Really stretched it out with the Chase Brown bit, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Good luck this week, everybody. Sorry and rest in peace to the fuck? We lost last week. Wade and Charlie. Damn, my bad, Charlie. Rest in peace to Wade and Charlie. Better luck next year. Love you. Bye.